Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. So, I am actually back. I need to get caught up on some things with my channel. Sorry about the long absences. As you guys know, I took 2 weeks off of the channel because I had to go out of town for work. And then while I was away, my 18-year-old niece passed away and had to deal with that. We buried her last night. So, I'm going to try and get back to the regularly scheduled program here. But yeah, so while I was away, before I left, you guys know I had issues with the mini long pocket one. I need to make a post about this, and I probably will today. Go Game Geek sent me a whole nother one, told me to keep the last one. This one works perfectly fine. All the buttons work, D-pad works, perfect. This is all I ever wanted. So, Go Game Geek, thank you for taking care of that for me and doing exactly what you said you'd do. I will make a post letting others know that you were true to your word. Sorry that's been delayed with everything going on. But today I want to talk about something a little different, not just handhelds. I want to talk about a cooling option for your handhelds. Now, this is a weird one. I ordered this right before I left town for work. One of those times where you're just kind of scrolling around and you see something and it gives you kind of get an idea out of it. That's this situation. So I was scrolling around Amazon and come across this little $9, $9 USB C cooling device. And I thought to myself, I wonder if this is small enough I could strap it to a handheld. Um, Now, over the amount of time I've been doing this, randomly people say things like, oh, the Trim UI brick, does it still get really hot and all this? With my hands, I never notice anything get really hot. The only handheld that's ever gotten extremely hot on me, besides my DMG when it burned itself up in like 5 seconds flat, was my Miu A30. I was playing a game on it, set it on a pillow, and walked away, came back, and that thing, you could cook an egg on it. It didn't damage the device, and it was still fine, and it's never done it again, so I don't know the situation there. I was only playing a Super Nintendo game, too, so it's not like I was taxing it that hard. Anyway, so with that being a question I encounter all the time of, um, does it get hot? Does it do this? Does it overheat? Does it still overheat? Sorry, while I'm talking, I'm trying to configure something real quick because the focus looks a little off. There we go. Sorry about that. All right. So I figured I would try this out for $10. Now it comes with this little thing, two attachable clips, little USB-C cable for it. It has one of those little magnetic sticker things you put on the back, and I think one of them is magnetic. I don't know how. Let's see if I can figure it out. Oh, okay. Yeah, this is magnetic. This is just a little metal sticker, which I figured was the case, but you gotta check. So you could realistically stick that to whatever you want if it's not a metal handheld and then attach this to it. It doesn't feel super strong, the little magnetic connection, but it'll hold. And then you got a little USB-C port here on the side. Now with things like the Trim UI brick, this is not a solution. If I put it all the way against the buttons, I got about a third of it, or just under half of it sticking out the top, which would still cool it, but then I can't use L2R2 at all. I mean, it would block it. So not a great option there. So let's go to the Retroid Pocket Classic. I could stick it right over the vent fan. Oh, it rolls away. I could stick it right over the vent fan and use it for cooling, and that would work, and I could still reach L2R2. It wouldn't be completely uncomfortable, but I'd be blocking the fan. So, once again, external cooling, not a good option. So we go to something like this. I could easily stick it on the back of this. It would never get in the way of my hands. I don't need to reach back there. It would make it look really goofy, but if this were to overheat, I could cool it, and it wouldn't cause me any problems, which is kind of interesting. So verticals, it's not really working for. Now, something like the 30 or 35XX SP here, I could put that goofy thing under there, but then, it's riding right on top of the battery, which is fine. Not that you need to open the battery compartment and change batteries. And then you would have this thing just hanging out. See what I'm saying? But what I did want to check with this little cooler, and I can't tell you the brand, I don't remember it. If you're going to ask for a link, I can try and dig one up. But really, you can just look for, a small little cooling device on Amazon. Just search it up. It's not that difficult. You'll find a wide variety of them, and you'll see one that looks just like that. This is this one. So, for horizontal handhelds, it does look like it'll work. Now, we're going to test this out. I did pull out a cheap temperature gauge. So, I'm really curious how quick or if this even cools down. So, it should cool right here. Let's get a gauge on it. So, the gauge is reading 73.5 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, I'm in the US, of course I use Fahrenheit. So and I got a cable that's barely long enough to reach in here. I should just use the cable that comes with it, but alright, kicks on. Ooh, the fan starts going immediately. Looks like it's on 3. Okay, so 3 looks like the max. Wow. It's already cooling down. It's at 61.3. 43.3. Wow. Ooh, that got cold. Wow, that got cold really fast. Of course, I put my hand on it, so it's back up to 55. I wonder what the other side shows. Other side's 78. But that's not the cooling side. I was just curious. I wonder if I can get through the fan. 74. Look at that. 25. That's absolutely insane. .4 degrees Fahrenheit. Wow, and that was under a minute. That is really cold. You can attach that right there. Overheating problems alleviated for horizontal handhelds, not vertical. I mean, it might work with something really tall like the RGB 20SX. I think that was the 720 by 720 vertical from Powkid. Wow, look. And actually, it's frosted over. That's crazy. It's supposed to work with your phone and all that. Let's mess with the clips real quick. It looks like the clips, oddly, the clips go over where the USB-C is, so really just not that smart of a design choice. Let me see if I can get this in here. I don't have a lot of time. I got a tower outage. I got to work this morning, so. Okay, oh no, that clip's not on there all the way. Whatever. Alright. So you get the idea. It gets these little clips. So I wonder if it's big enough. Oh yeah. And I can use it. Let's see. If I would use the included cable, that shit wouldn't happen. But I'm not that smart of a guy, I guess. But that's kind of impressive. I mean, I'm sure if I removed the little plastic cover on the Pocket One, it would hook to it just fine. Either way, you do have this metal sticker as a choice. I'm gonna try and see if I can get the clips back off without ripping them. Nope. Yep. Well, kinda. They kinda come off. I don't know how much I damaged. I probably should have left them on and tried to clip them here, but like I said, not that smart. So it almost wants to attach to this. But, aluminum, what are you going to do, right? Doesn't really stick. So, but it just kind of Kind of slides on that plastic and hangs up. It almost feels like it wants to, but it won't, you know. Once again, yes, aluminum, I know. Anyway, interesting choice for $10 for cooling. And I like looking up small, cheap items. If you looked up my video on a cheap docking solution for something like the Retroid Pocket 5, I found a $9-10 adapter that worked perfectly. I still have it and still use it, actually, if that tells you anything. And then this was more kind of a novelty thing. I just wanted to pick this up for that question, or that always comes up, you know, does it overheat? I heard it has overheating problems. I don't want it because it overheats. You should never have to buy this for your handheld. Your handheld should not overheat to the point that it needs this. Do some of these handhelds get hot? Absolutely. And it all depends on what you're doing with them. Now, when you get up to stuff like this, it has cooling options. A lot of the higher power ones have fan controls. You can set it to auto. You can turn it on. If it's something like my Legion Go, the fan is roaring 24/7, so it keeps it cool. But these handhelds, these smaller emulation ones that, you know, aren't really going to get you PS2, but, you know, they'll get you gaming. If you had one that you felt like was getting too hot or overheating, this is a $9-10 solution from Amazon. And yeah, it's supposed to go on a cell phone, but, you know, who cares? But it's not bad looking. And it cools down really quick, as you've seen. So, and now we're back up to room temperature. Trying to get where you can see. It says 82.4. So, but it cooled it off really, really fast. So, well, today's not a long one. That's about all I'm going to do right now. I'm still trying to, you know, come back to reality from everything. For those of you that reached out to me and sent me messages either on my Discord or through YouTube, thank you. Thank you. It helps. I appreciate the, you know, members of the Legion being there for me, messaging me through various things, and, you know, just those words of kindness, man. Sometimes it's hard, especially a loss like this, someone that young, but no one gets out alive, you know. It happens. It was a tough day for me and my family. It definitely broke me. So, anyway, so moving on. I'm trying to think of what else I got for you guys. I know I had something else I was going to go over. For those of you curious that haven't seen this one, while I was away for 2 weeks, this one popped up on Mercari. It was shipping out of my home state, so I knew it would get to my house quick, and I wanted to add one of these to my personal collection. The first time I reviewed it, I wasn't a fan of it. I said it felt hollow and cheap, and I still do kind of stand with that, but you get used to it. It has a great screen, and sometimes I don't really want a joystick down here like my DMG has, and I like verticals, so I really wanted to add this vertical to my collection. And with Retroid doing away with stuff, I wanted to get my hands on one before I couldn't, or before it was a lot harder. I didn't necessarily want the Kiwi one. I was kind of getting interested in that berry one, but I'm not sure how pink it is when you actually get it. Not that I dislike pink. Well, I mean, I don't like pink. It's not a color for me. I have nothing wrong if you like pink, is what I'm saying. But I was more of a fan of, like, the teal would have been fine. But yeah, I probably would have picked up a berry. If I still see one of those go up, I'll probably grab one. I do have a Game Boy Color build I have to do coming up. I got a Metal Gear Solid shell sent to me by my sponsor and brother. I need to order a screen for that, and then we'll do the Metal Gear Solid Game Boy Color build on here. You guys can watch me fumble around with that and mess it all up and get really angry at myself. But yeah, so we're looking into the RG Rotate. The moment that goes live, I'll be ordering me one, and we can play with that too. Alright guys, hope you had a good weekend. Hope your week's going good. I know this was a shorter one for me, being under 45 minutes to an hour is rare in my channel. But I got too much to do right now, and I'm barely here. So I'll see you guys later on in the week. I will try to get out another video about what, who knows, whatever I decide. You know how I do. So I'll see you guys next time. Once again, thank you for all those that reached out to me. It really does mean something. I know it seems small, just saying, hey man, sorry brother, thinking about you. Anything you said, it did help. I did read it, and I tried to respond to every one of you. As always, I'll have my Discord linked in the description below. There's not a ton of us in there, but we're there. We're kind of building this small, tight-knit community. And I'm on there as much as I can. I haven't been, of course, with everything going on, but now that I'm back, I will be. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one.